Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and Restless Bombshell. Aristotle Dumas' Private Party. Reveal will shake Genoa City to its core. Young and Restless, unfortunately, has not brought the drama and excitement we would normally expect during May sweeps. That said, the mystery surrounding all things Aristotle Dumas continues to build, if nothing else, anticipation for a reveal. May Sweeps highlights Amanda's return, brought with it some satisfying scenes between her, Abby, and Devon. That's still a sore spot. But the best scenes of May Sweeps were much more subtle than a confrontation. They came when Tracy opened up to Diane about her feelings about her continued struggle with the horrific heartbreak, betrayal, and deception brought into her life by Martin. This was riveting, not only because of the talent of Beth Maitland, but because Tracy brings the heart to this soap opera. Something that has gotten lost in a sea of business-related plot points and forced couplings that are unable to make us truly feel. Inside Aristotle Dumas's private party, what's going to happen at Dumas's swanky bash on the French Riviera? If I was a betting woman, I'd advise Billy Abbott to put all his money on Dumas, revealing himself to be Cain Ashb, who slunk out of town 6 years ago and somehow built an empire. All signs point to it being Ashby, and it's surely no coincidence that Lily mentioned him for the first time in eons on Friday's episode. The bombshell is sure to rock the Genoa City attendees to their core. To start with, he'll be sporting a new face, that of Days of Our Lives' Billy Flynn, and will almost certainly lost the Australian accent. But that's not all. Billy will be mystified, along with the rest of us, as to why Cain would want to help him take back Chancellor. Damien will discover that the woman he's interested in is in fact his boss's ex-wife, and Victor will be in utter disbelief to find out that the one man who he hasn't been able to keep 10 chess moves ahead of is a one-time grifter with a background in bartending. We won't even be able to blame him because it is impossible to believe. How could Cain possibly achieve all of this in 6 years with no one knowing? Has he hidden his entire life from his kids? Where's it all going? Aside from a possible Damien, Lily, Cain love triangle and a bunch of bunk about Chancellor Industries that remains to be seen. I'll be honest, though. Given how Young and Restless began to feel like the Claire show after the writers brought her on board, I'm leery that we're headed for the Cain show next. In related commentary, why are Lily and Damien still talking and eating? At the very least, they should have kissed by now, if not slept together. These writers have taken the soap out of our soap opera. Share your thoughts in the comments. In Genoa City, there are parties, and then there are events. Aristotle. Dumas, the mysterious billionaire who swept into town with old money charm and new money ambition, had kept a relatively low profile until now. But that was about to change. Every power player in Genoa City received a sleek black envelope, hand-delivered, with only 3 words embossed in gold. Dumas. Midnight. Truth. Victor Newman smirked when he read it, tossing the invite onto his desk like it was an afterthought. Jack Abbott eyed it warily. Phyllis Summers couldn't decide if it was a social stunt or the beginning of something explosive. And Billy Abbott? He took one look and decided to RSVP yes before he finished his drink. Even Nikki Newman, still fragile from recent relapses and family trauma, felt the gravitational pull of curiosity. What truth? Why now? And why invite everyone who could destroy him? Chapter 2. Midnight at the Dumas estate. The night of the party, a mist rolled across the grounds of the sprawling Dumas estate, perched on a hill overlooking the city like a predator. Staff dressed in crisp, dark uniforms escorted the guests, past a labyrinth of candle-lit hedges. Inside, the scene was equally gothic. Towering marble statues, a string quartet playing moody variations of modern hits, and champagne that flowed like secrets. Aristotle greeted each guest personally, dressed in a bespoke suit that hinted at old European aristocracy. Beside him stood a statuesque woman no one recognized, with ice-blonde hair and an unreadable expression. Rumors began immediately. Was she his wife, a partner, a ghost from someone else's past? Chapter 3. The gathering Storm, Victor, and Nikki arrived separately. So did Phyllis and Jack. Adam lingered in the corner, observing everything. Chelsea was there, but made no move to speak to him. Sharon stuck close to Nick, but her eyes kept drifting toward Billy, who looked increasingly on edge. Claire Grace wandered through the room like she was born there, absorbing every whispered exchange. Audra Charles, dressed to kill, made a point of brushing shoulders with Nate, then Kyle, then Summer. Her smirk said she knew something they didn't. As the clock crept closer to midnight, Aristotle raised a hand. The music stopped. The conversations faded. And with a voice as smooth as velvet and as dangerous as a dagger, he said, "Thank you all for coming. Now let me show you why you're here." Chapter 4. The Truth. Chamber guests were ushered into a domed theater beneath the estate, a room no one knew existed. The lights dimmed. A massive screen descended. And then, footage. Not security footage, not surveillance. Confessionals, interviews, hidden recordings. Phyllis gasped as she saw herself on screen conspiring with Jeremy Stark. Jack paled as an audio file played of a conversation he had with Victor about pushing Diane out. But that wasn't the worst of it. Nick Newman was next. A recording of him begging Sally to keep a secret, not just about their past, but something deeper. Adam's jaw clenched, and then came the revelation. Aristotle himself appeared on screen, narrating the story of his own connection to Genoa City. He was not a stranger. He was the illegitimate son of one of its most powerful patriarchs. Victor Newman. Chapter 5. Shockwaves. The room erupted. Victor stood, stunned, before barking for the screen to be turned off, but it continued. DNA results. Paper trails, financial records of hush payments made to Aristotle's mother decades ago. Aristotle didn't just claim his place in the Newman lineage, he proved it. And with that, he declared his intention to challenge Victor's will, his company, and his legacy. Nikki staggered out of the room. Nick followed, visibly shaken. Adam stayed, watching, calculating. Chapter 6. The Fallout. The morning after, Genoa City was in free fall. News of the party and the revelations broke across media outlets within hours. Victor refused to comment. Newman Enterprises stocks plummeted. Journalists camped outside the Dumas estate. Claire confronted Aristotle, demanding to know why he did it this way. He answered calmly, because truth, when whispered, is ignored. But when screamed, it's remembered. Audra called an emergency board meeting. Kyle was nowhere to be found. Summer blamed Diane. Diane blamed everyone. Chapter 7. The Family Fractures. Further Victoria confronted Victor. "Is it true? Did you know?" Victor, for once, was silent. Adam strangely offered a handshake to Aristotle at Society. "If you're going to burn it all down, at least let me help with the gasoline." Nikki moved into a hotel, seeking distance. Billy disappeared for 48 hours. Chelsea tried to reach him, but couldn't. Chapter 8. The second bombshell. Just as the dust began to settle, the blonde woman at the party stepped forward. Her name? Elena Marston, a forensic accountant and Aristotle's confidant. She had something to share. She produced documents tying Victor Newman to illegal acquisitions during his rise to power, the kind that could destroy him legally, financially, and publicly. "We don't want just acknowledgement," Aristotle said. We want reparation. Chapter 9. Redemption or Ruin. Jack reached out to Nikki. Phyllis offered an alliance to Nick. Sharon attempted to broker peace, but the lines were already drawn. Newman versus Dumas. Legacy versus blood. Truth versus power. Claire made a decision of her own, to side with Aristotle, believing he'd exposed the toxicity she had only just escaped. Chapter 10. Genoa City will never be the same in the weeks that followed. Everything shifted. Victor announced a temporary step back. Victoria assumed control, but with shareholders demanding answers. Aristotle released a memoir, and Genoa City prepared for a court battle that would determine not just the future of Newman Enterprises, but the fate of a legacy built on ambition, betrayal, and now, undeniable blood.